With us now is Meredith Prescott from Prescott Psychotherapy and Wellness. Hello.
Hi. How are you, Donna? Thanks so much for having me.
I had a good time talking to you on the phone this week.
I did
We were like
too.
talking for like an hour and a half. You spent some time down in Maryland.
I did. I went to college there.
And I told you that my daughter also went down to, she was at Micah. And while you were going to school, you experienced something that helped create who you are today. So
Absolutely.
would you share that journey with us?
Yes. So I was a psychology major in Maryland, and I wasn't sure exactly where I was going to take my career. My senior year of college, I got really sick, and it really inspired me to pursue my master's in social work and become a clinical therapist. I really found that my experience with my, dealing with those medical challenges really allowed me to want to help others and to inspire others who are dealing with their own set of challenges in their own lives.
It took you off the course just a little bit, but
Yeah.
then you like really jumped in. So you decided to go to Fordham, I believe, because they had the last opportunity to apply.
Yeah, so when I decided I wanted to go to grad school, it was so last minute, and the only deadline that I was able to make was Fordham. So I went there for 2 years and got my master's, and there I was able to work in the bone marrow transplant unit with end-of-life cancer patients. And there I found kind of my calling. And then from there, I worked at Mount Sinai for 5 years with cancer patients, counseling end-of-life GI cancer patients.
When you know, or when they recognize that you're there to help them transition, if you will, what's a special magical moment that may have happened that also is part of your journey? Because I guess you probably kind of get close, appropriately close, if you will.
Sure, of course.
Helping someone at that special time in their life. It's a really important chapter. And I had shared on the phone that, my mom died of breast cancer when I was pregnant with my son, which was an interesting highlight and low light at the same time. And then my spouse died of colon cancer. And I think that there's like a special grace, if you will, or a special intuition or knowing when you're working with someone in that population.
Right. Yeah. So I think for me, what allowed me to be successful in this line of work was really being empathetic and understanding that everyone's experiences are so different. And while I have my own experiences and the physicians I work with have their own life experiences that may contribute to why they decided to do what they do in their practice, I found that I'm very empathic and I'm really able to understand how the journey is for people, that it's not easy and it's not predictable, and there are so many unknowns when dealing with cancer or when dealing with a lot of different challenges in our lives. And so that really shaped my practice when I really spoke to end-of-life cancer patients on what mattered most and what brings them meaning and joy to get through each and every day and through each treatment. So much was centered around their relationships and the quality of their relationships. And that's where I felt like I really wanted to do more work, and I wanted to pursue more of my career in relationship building.
Even multi-generations.
Absolutely.
Right? The connections that people have with maybe a long-lost sibling, or a grandchild, or a child that they haven't spoken to in years. And you're right, relationships, life really centers around our hearts and our relationships and the people that we value and the people that we cherish.
Exactly.
How do you help? Because sometimes you work with couples, you work with individuals, but also couples even before they get married, to kind of put them in a, as you say, wellness path.
Exactly. So much of my couples work, they are premarital couples, so they live together, but they're not married yet. And what I love about that is they're so open to help in so many ways, where they really want to make it. They want a successful relationship. And so often past traumas, family traumas, life stressors has gotten in the way for them that hasn't allowed them to have the best relationship that they can. And so what I work with my couples, whether they're premarital or marital, is I really work with them to establish a healthy foundation with themselves so that they can contribute that to their partners and their friendships and other aspects of their lives. And so how I do that is really, I use a psychodynamic approach and an attachment approach, where I really work with my clients to identify their past and what has come up for them. How are they related to? How are they comforted? What was life like as a child? And so I use that foundation in their work now, because so often how we were related to is how we relate to others now, even if it's not maybe the most optimal way, but it's what is familiar and what we know. And so much of what my clients struggle with is things in the past that they haven't dealt with, that we work to deal with now so that it's not being projected onto their current partner.
Sounds magical and fabulous. And you absolutely have the experience and the knowledge, the education, and you are an empathetic person. So if somebody wanted to visit with you, you have your own private practice.
Yes.
They could make an appointment. Now, do you only work within your own state?
Yes.
Okay.
Good question. So with the telehealth laws now, they've been a little bit waived with COVID, but typically I can see anyone in the state of New York.
Perfect. It's a big state.
Yeah.
Lots of people, lots of couples
Lots
that
of
you can
people.
help.
Absolutely.
And when I grew up, they used to, in the Catholic Church, they used to do pre-Cana, but more people aren't doing those types of formalized things. So I think it's a great suggestion to come to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that, we can see premarital counseling as preventative care, where people, like when you go to the dentist and you get your teeth cleaned to prevent cavities or future dental work, that this is something you do. It's almost like when you get married and you have you have a package, right? You have your DJ.
Exactly. That's what I'm
You kind of
thinking.
include this in kind of your package because, what else is better than investing in yourself and your relationship?
I love it. A photographer and a psychotherapist. Perfect, Meredith. So Prescott, Psychotherapy and Wellness.
Yes.
Thank you. You're a joy to have as a guest. I hope you'll come back and visit us again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yay. I think it's a great idea. I have family members that are engaged and getting married soon, and I would, joyfully send them to her. Stay tuned. You never know, right? I want to come see you. Hello, Meredith. It's me.